Alrighty, I believe we're live. I tried to go live right at 4, but I'm 1 minute late. That's alright. This is New Comic Book Weekly. You guys know the show if you've been tuning in. I think we've been going for like 19 weeks now, something like that. But this is the live show where every single Monday at 4 p.m. we get into it and we talk about some various comic book topics. The first one we have is talking about this week's pull list. It's a pretty big week. We got 13 pickups. We'll get into it. We'll get into it in detail. Lots of cool stuff coming out. A lot of indies, we got some Marvel, and then of course the big one. We got the DC Marvel crossover, the Superman Spider-Man. This is from the DC side. Next month will be from the Marvel side, but like I was saying, we're going to get into it. That's the pull list for the week. And then we're also going to get into the solicitations that was just announced from DC Comics. So over on comicreleases.com, our good buddy Dom put together this list. So we're going to get into it. All of the comic books, just in general, every single thing that DC Comics is releasing, as far as the collected editions, like the hardcover trades, DC Finest and stuff like that, but also some of the new single issues, and some of the way that Dom split it up, right? We have like the Absolute Universe, we got the Batman Office, Justice League Office, Black Label, Elseworlds, Vertigo, and others. So we'll get into every single thing that DC Comics is releasing for the month of June. The DC June 2026 solicitations, and then of course we're going to end the show with a bunch of comic book reviews. This is everything that came out last week, and if you remember, last week was a pretty big week, so we got a lot of great stuff. This is in an order, a very specific order. This is from what I like the most to what I like the least. All right, so let's get a peek on what I like the least. What's all the way down there? Oh, is that the Wonder Woman title? We'll get into it, all right? So that'll be the comic book reviews at the tail end of this episode of New Comic Weekly. Let's jump into the chat real quick. Anybody in the chat? We got Borderland saying hello. We got Southside Ronin. What up, homie? Super stacked week. Hard decisions to make. Southside Ronin, I believe this weekend is C2E2, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully you have a good time. I'm actually going to be at a different convention, a video game convention in Boston. It just happened to line up the same weekend as C2E2. Kevin B, wow, you didn't like Deathstroke? Wow. We'll get into it. I have some thoughts on the Deathstroke title. I'd be curious what you guys think, though, when we get into it. But yeah, so of course, all the DC Next Level stuff we're going to be reviewing. We got all the solicitations as well. But we got to start off with the pull list, right? So let's get into it. This week's pull list, everything we have coming out for March 25th, New Comic Book Day. It's the last New Comic Book Day of the month. Super strong month. I mean, just right off the top, right? You got a lot of great stuff coming out, but we're ending the month probably the strongest, all right? So what do we start off with? Got to talk about the DC Marvel Superman Spider-Man #1. A lot of different creative teams jumping onto this, a lot of different variant covers as well. It's just a big moment following the Deadpool Batman crossover, the Batman Deadpool crossover at the tail end of last year. I'm more hyped about the Superman Spider-Man crossovers. I think that the creative teams are more interesting. I think the pairings are more interesting as well. And I will be honest, the DC side of this crossover has me more excited than the Marvel side. But yeah, we have crazy stories like Jimmy Olsen crossing over with Carnage. We have Lois Lane crossing over with Mary Jane Watson, I believe. We have the Daily Bugle having a race with the Daily Planet. Like a lot of crazy stuff. The one I'm most excited for, we have a Jeff Lemire story, Uncle Ben and Pa Kent. I mean, that's just going to be a tearjerker, right? So a lot of cool stuff happening in this oversized issue of Superman Spider-Man crossover. Just to give you guys a little taste of all the different variant covers, all the different stories we can be expecting in here. But that's got to be my most excited, most hyped pickup for the week. Moving right along, we have two absolutes, of course. Always a good week when both Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Martian Manhunter come out. Of course, this continues Diana versus Zatanna / versus the Absolute Suicide Squad. So we got Hayden Sherman on the art. Looks like this one's going to feature Absolute Zatanna pretty heavily, which I'm excited for. A little bit disappointed when she left that last issue a little early, but Kelly Thompson assures us that Zatanna is going to be here to stay for this arc. So really excited about that. Really cool. Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 18. It's the Witch of the Wild Isle versus Zatanna Zatara, the Mistress of Magic. Plus, at the end of last issue, there was that guy that was all covered in fire. What's up with that guy? Is that guy I don't know, is that Zatanna's dad or something like that? I'm not sure, but yeah, so we have Absolute Wonder Woman coming out, as well as Absolute Martian Manhunter issue number 10. We have issue number 10, 11, and 12. So this series is almost over, from Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez. The truth of the Green Martian. John takes on the agency while his family and his world crumbles around him. Bridget starts to see through the smoke to the malevolent force inside her own house. And where exactly is the Green Martian? So a lot of different moving parts in the last couple issues of this Absolute Martian Manhunter series. We're interested to see how Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez wrap it all up in the next 3 issues. And then we'll maybe say bye to this Absolute Martian Manhunter character. But, of course, we know Dennis Camp, Javier Rodriguez are sticking together for the next project. What could it be? My money's on Doom Patrol. I think that could be cool. Let's move it along. Let's stay in the DC side of things, because we have Superman number 36 coming out. This is the start of the reign of the Superboys. At the events, at the tail end of the DCKO event, something happened to Superman. He's like way off in somewhere, right? It's a little kind of vague maybe where Superman is, but on here on Earth, it's the reign of the Superboy. So we got Superboy Prime taking over the Superman main title. This should be pretty fun. Of course, this follows DCKO. One hero steps up to take Superman's place, Superboy Prime. So let's see, we got Dan Mora coming back onto the Superman title. Josh Williamson continuing his fun Superman writing. And very excited to be picking this one up. I'm a big fan of Superboy, everything that's been going on with that character in the last couple of issues. The kind of heel turn where he's starting to be a good guy and is starting to have this sort of positive turn for the character that I've been really enjoying from Josh Williamson. So excited about that. Let's jump into the chat real quick. Kevin B asked that I read Century number 1. I didn't get a chance to. I think, if I remember correctly, I think you had recommended me that on a previous video, Kevin. Yeah, haven't had a chance yet, but the Century is a character that I'm interested in. We got Borderlands agreeing that the Century issue is pretty good. Is that because issue number 2 comes out, I'm assuming, this week? Southside Ronan says, Batwoman was so dope. I don't mind if it's a continuation of the OG run. It was a blast to read and the artwork is sick. And then Southside Ronan also saying that Century is worth picking up. That's kind of interesting. A lot of the community is high on the Century series. So I'll tell you what, if my shop has Century number 1 on the shelf, like if it's got it somewhere on the rack, I might pick it up. And then, yeah, dude, the Batwoman series, excellent stuff with Denis on the art. I really think that's a good match to pair up with Rucka for this new Batwoman run. I've heard Century is a mixed bag, but which comic isn't this these days? That's a good point, you know. Different, it's all subjective, right? But let's get back into the pull list. So continuing on the DC side of things, we have Justice League Unlimited issue number 17, Super Villains on the JLU. So we have Mark Waid still writing this, but we got Clayton Henry coming in. I love Clayton Henry's artwork. I think he's got a real cool look, and it looks like, I don't know, we got Amnesty starting here, so maybe some of the people who helped out with the DCKO event, some of the villains, are being let onto the Justice League? I have no idea. That's a pretty interesting setup from Mark Waid, so we'll have to see what happens with that. I'm hoping that the Justice League Unlimited title kind of turns back to that first arc, maybe that second arc as well, before they got tied in with all the events, where it felt very similar to the show, if I'm being honest with you. Like just the Justice League Unlimited show, just send down a team to do a mission for an episode. That was kind of the vibe I was really liking from Mark Waid, so we're hoping that they kind of get back to that. Quit it out with the events, all right? Let's just ride with the Justice League for a little bit. Let's go to the Marvel for a little bit, because we got Endgame number 3, Ultimate Endgame. The end of the Ultimate Universe draws near. Inside the Maker City, a desperate group of heroes battles the terrifying children of tomorrow and discovers some surprising allies. I will be honest with you, I do not care about the Ultimate Endgame event anymore. I'm over it. The Ultimate Universe, I wish it would end. I actually wish it would end. I'm begging it to end, actually. So Dennis Camp, let's just wrap it up, dude. Let's stop with the delays. Let's just end the Ultimate Universe. I'm over it. I'm over it. That's all my thoughts on that. Also from Marvel, actually it's a big week from Ryan North. First off, he's got the Fantastic Four issue number 9 coming out. There's this evil villain, this evil version of Sue Storm, the Invincible Woman, all right? So she is like the regular Sue, but she like killed everybody on her planet. Like she's an alternate version of Sue. She's evil. She doesn't really care about human life, and she's going to be battling the Fantastic Four. Pretty fun stuff from Ryan North. I've been really liking this new volume of Fantastic Four, joining Humberto Ramos. A pretty cool look for the Fantastic Four there. But that's not it for Ryan North, because we also have the Flash number 31. Ryan North and Gavin Guidry are taking over the Scarlet Speedster. A new era for the Scarlet Speedster begins here. Wally West, we got Linda. It's going to be, I don't know, Ryan North's like positive vibes. We know that he's really excellent at sci-fi writing, like the science part of the Flash. I think Ryan North can really nail. And everything we've seen so far from Gavin Guidry is got me really excited about this new Flash run. So yeah, man, Ryan North doing more DC work. I'm just really excited. I mean, this is going to be hopefully back to some of the Jeremy Adams sort of vibes, because that was my first Flash run, and I love that stuff. You kind of lost me in the Cy Spurrier, and I've been needing some Flash in my life, so hopefully this is exactly what me and the rest of the community are looking for. Real quick, let's talk about Iron Man number 3, Iron Man versus MODOK and Date Night. So we know that, what's her name, dude? I forgot her name. Madame Mask. She is working with AIM to kidnap a bunch of smart people to recreate the kind of the scenario that birthed Tony Stark, in that he was in the cave with a box of scraps and he built the Iron Man suit. So they're trying to recreate that using a bunch of smart people, but use it for their own purposes and kind of have that person go down the villain route. So trying to recreate an evil Iron Man, essentially. So kind of an interesting take from Josh Williamson. You missed me a little bit on issue 2. I liked issue 1. We'll see how we're feeling about issue 3. The art is really strong. Might be dropping it soon. Let me know how you guys feel about it. I might stick around for the full first arc, but you missed me a little bit on issue 2. It wasn't my favorite the week it came out. But real quick, let's jump into the chat. Let's catch up a little bit. Ghostweb Parker says, hey, a little late. Did I miss much? No, we're just going over my pull list for the week. Nothing crazy. We didn't do the big topic. That'll be next. The DC solicits. Kevin B. Kevin B. Ultimate Endgame, roll eye. That's how I feel about it as well. Ghostweb Parker saying, I read Sentry this week. It's very good. And Batwoman and Deathstroke. Kevin's more like Ultimate Doo-Doo. Yeah, nice. Dude, I really wanted to love it, but Marvel does a great job at making me not care, lol. Yep. Borderlands says, decided to drop Iron Man. Didn't work for me. Yeah, I'm a little, I don't know, the scenario is like not that interesting. I don't know. I don't really care if you make an evil version of Iron Man. I don't really give a shit, right? So, the scenario kind of lost me in issue 2. The art is really strong, but that's not like a good enough reason to keep going with the Iron Man series. So, we'll see how we feel about it. All right, let's keep it going, though. Talking about the pull list, we also have Skinbreaker number 7. This was a drop. I dropped this. Hopefully my shop does not have this in my pull box. Kind of disappointing from Robert Kirkman. I have no idea where the story is going. I mean, you kind of like took a swerve that I didn't really like, and you got great artwork from David Finch, but I don't know if that's enough to keep pulling the series till issue 9. We have DC Vertigo's The Peril of the Brutal Dark and Ezra Kane Mystery. This is from Chris Kahn and Jacob Phillips, one of my favorite duos in the game. Issue 1 was so good. It's Indiana Jones type, right? But he's a private detective, private investigator. We're going to be punching Nazis, right? Because the Nazis have stolen a really important artifact, the Anvil of Hephaestus. So you got that sort of Greek mythology kind of into it as well. So yeah, man, you're just going to be Indiana Jones-like, punching Nazis and trying to get back this really important artifact. That's a vibe, dude. With the artwork from Jacob Phillips, who's also doing his own coloring, and then Chris Condon, we know this pair works together so well. I'm all aboard this Ezra Kane series. I'm just in love with this new noir. Yeah, excellent stuff. Cannot wait to pull that. Probably pretty up there for pick of the week. And then we also have sort of a slasher series from Tyler Boss and Martin Simmons. We have Universal Monsters Phantom of the Opera issue number 2. I loved issue 1. I think this has the making to be an all-timer Universal Monsters series. Martin Simmons' artwork is possibly more beautiful than that in Dracula. That might be hard to say. that might be hard to say, but we got the the setup is like already there. I feel like with Dracula, it took a little bit to kind of build to it, but I feel like the Universal Monsters Phantom of the Opera, we're like already in the meat of the story after the first issue. So yeah, Tyler Boss, Martin Simmons, bringing us some real cool stuff here. Let's take a look at the cover. Oh man, that's cool, man. Cool stuff. Lee Weeks. All right, cool. Phantom of the Opera. Hopefully you guys are checking this one out because I really do think, like I was saying, when all said and done, this could be an all-timer Universal Monsters series. One more issue to talk about for today is Ted OK #2 from Mad Cave. This is from my good buddy Dave Chisholm, writing, drawing. He's killing it on this series. There's this guy named Ted. He's freaking out, and this girl is hired by the company to watch over Ted to make sure he doesn't do anything drastic, hurt him or anybody else. And one night she decides to intervene and to help him out. Things go crazy, and then the next day it turns out that, like, was that real? Was it not real? Like, mind-bending stuff. Dave Chisholm compares it to Severance, that Apple show. So if you caught Severance, definitely check this out. It's this post-capitalist sort of world. It's very hard to describe what's going on here, but I'm very interested in it. And Dave Chisholm is killing it on the art. I mean, this is probably my favorite Dave Chisholm like artwork so far, and the scenario here is very interesting. So if you guys are trade waiting this, I get that, but man, issue 1 was excellent. It might be like single issue of the year so far. Besides that, absolute Wonder Woman annual. But that's what we have, man. So all the DC, Marvel, and indie comic pickups for March 25th, new comic book day. 13 pickups, $64. But you do got a minus Skin Breaker, because I dropped it, man. Hopefully my shop does not have me one of those. So just under a $60. And yeah, that's what I'm picking up. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are picking up for new comic book day, March 25th. As always, while you're down there leaving a comment, like if you like, sub if you love, and if you really like it, you can hype it. Much appreciated. I'll catch you guys in the next comic book preview. Alrighty, you guys know how that works. Work smarter, not harder. So that's going to be its own video, the comic book pull list. Next up here, after I set up, we're going to talk about some of the DC solicits. Everything DC's got coming out for the month of June. Let me turn off my work computer real quick, alright? Alrighty. Let me take a sip of the old Joe as well. Let me catch up on the comments here. Alrighty. What do we got? Ghost Web Parker saying yes, same with Spider-Man Death Spiral from me. What are your thoughts on Dan Slott admitting Marvel's limiting new series to 5 issues and relying on sales data to see if they live or not? I would like to have a deep dive on that, or maybe, I don't know who would be a good pick, one of the other comic book content creators to have on the channel to talk about that, because that is very disappointing. I mean, that's why they're flooding the market with issue 1s, right? I mean, it's just so transparent, so obvious. They're not giving, that's why, like, I'm so hesitant to pull a Marvel series unless I know for sure it's gonna last long. Like, dude, when I'm picking up Captain America by Chip Zdarsky, you know for a fact that that's gonna go for at least like 12 issues, all right? Like, they're gonna give Chip some room to grow, okay? Same thing with Ryan North. They're not gonna cancel that one because it's been going on for so long, so that's an easy add to the pull. Even with this Iron Man series, dude, I could see them canceling Joshua Williamson's Iron Man. Like, if it doesn't sell well, compared to some of the other stuff they have coming out, I could see them easily dropping the Iron Man title, like before Josh Williamson even gets going, even though Josh Williamson is a name that sells in theory. So yeah, I could see them doing that, man. That's crazy. Kevin says, okay, I'm not reading Death Spiral, so I'm out of the loop on that. I feel like Century, Iron Man, etc. are tying in together. Okay. Borderlands saying hype for Brutal Dark. That's got to be my most, like, the DC Vertigo stuff is all pretty solid, but man, Brutal Dark is so good. The Darkness is hitting the spot for me at the moment. Are you excited for the new Wolfman story by Josh Williamson? Oh yeah, that got announced. I got to make a video on some recent comic book announcements, because there was like a slew of pretty cool stuff. I think it was at like MegaCon that they announced all that stuff, but yeah, Wolfman, that's pretty cool. Sunrise R's says, ooh, Universal Monsters look interesting. I think all the Universal Monster stuff has been pretty solid so far. The only one that I didn't like necessarily was probably the Mummy. I just don't know about the original story. Like, I don't know what it's referencing to or calling back to or whatever. So I was out of the loop on that one. But all the other ones, I feel like they work very well as standalone stories. I didn't need to know the previous source material. So yeah, I would check out some Universal Monster series if you're into horror, if you're into like short, sit down and just read it in one sitting kind of horror series. All the Universal Monster stuff is solid. Borderlands saying, is Ted Okay is the best comic of 2026 so far for me. Not mad at that at all. When it's all said and done, this is going to be like it's going to be my favorite Dave Chisholm work, I'm pretty sure, and I'm a big fan of his stuff. Yeah, it's going to be like the most mind-bending out there. Like, hopefully Dave's up for some awards because it really is that good. I literally can't find issue 1 of Is Ted Okay anywhere. I'm from the UK, though. That's so sad, but I guess that's good to hear that Dave's book's selling, but that is sad, though, that people who actually want it can't get it. I think it's going through a second printing, actually, though, Ghostweb Parker. So keep your eyes on that, because I do believe it got a second printing. Really might check it out. I'm grabbing Midnight Man this week. Looks interesting. Grabbing Honor and Curse. Okay, I don't know too much about those. And then Absolute Martian Manhunter as well. Icon Dusky says, hey, Kody, what would you recommend buying? Reckless Deluxe or Criminal Volume 2 Deluxe? That's a great question. Reckless Deluxe. Wait. I don't know if Reckless has a deluxe. Does Reckless have a deluxe? Because I have the Reckless series. You could see it right there. Like all the skinny, they're like standard size hardcovers. All the Reckless series. I have book number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if there is a deluxe of that. Is there? I might have missed that. I might have to upgrade. Or Criminal Volume 2 Deluxe. That's a good pickup too. I mean, but you can't go wrong with either. Maybe Criminal, I'd say, to like fill out your Criminal like set, because you need all 3 deluxes at some point, right? That's a good question. I like that question a lot. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about some of the. Actually, it's not some of. Let's get into it. Let's talk about every single comic book, everything that DC Comics is releasing in June of 2026. The site we're using, of course, is comicreleases.com. Shout out to our good buddy Dom, who keeps this site up and running, provides us with the latest information. What a great resource for comic book fans. Comicreleases.com. Make sure you guys check it out. But let's get into it. Everything DC is releasing in June of 2026, also known as the June 2026 solicitations. Let's jump down to the hardcover / trade paperbacks. We got the trade and the hardcover for DC Chaos. If you guys are looking forward to that, if you were trade waiting it, in June you guys can pick up some DC KO goodness there. Actually, that's not the right, that's like August. So it's the June solicit, but the trade's coming out in August. You're going to have to wait a little bit. But yeah, that's how the collected editions work. The single issues all come out in June. You guys know how it works by now, I think, right? So collecting DC KO issues number 1 through 5. I love the DC KO event. I thought it was pretty fun. As in terms of a DC event, probably the best one that I've been a part of ever since I've been pulling single issues. So yeah, pretty cool stuff there. Absolute Martian Manhunter, volume number 2, Dennis Camp, Javier Rodriguez, just killing it with this series. This will collect issues number 7 through 12. So this will complete Absolute Martian Manhunter. We know the series is ending at 12, much to our chagrin, but look forward to that on sale in 8/25/2026. Volume number 2 of volume number 2 of Superman Unlimited is coming out. I fell off of this series. I stopped at issue number 6, I believe. So I haven't read this material. I got to catch up on the app. The volume number 3 of JSA from Jeff Lemire's coming out. Same thing here. I caught all of issues number 1 through 12. I pulled that in singles. I fell off on issue number 13. But I heard that the DC, I heard that this series kind of picked up with the year 1 stuff. So I got to go back and, this one's for the JSA heads out there. So if you're really into JSA, I'm sure you're enjoying the JSA series. We got volume number 9 of Batman Superman World's Finest coming out. This is some excellent stuff. We have, Mark Waid's still writing it, of course. We got Andrian Gutierrez, I believe, doing the majority of the art in this arc. This collects issues number 44 to 49. Wow, almost 50 issues of World's Finest. That's so cool. Batman Detective Comics, volume number 3. This is the Tom Taylor and Mikel Janin stuff. Man, Mikel's stuff is so good, doing the coloring as well. And I really love Everything that was going on with the Tom Taylor stuff, there was too many Batman series coming out. So this one did get the boot eventually, but pretty solid Detective Comic stuff. Honestly, I might like Tom Taylor's Detective Comic stuff more than his Nightwing stuff. Let me know if that's crazy down in the chat while we jump down to the hardcovers, all right? So we have Absolute Batman Incorporated. This is some Grant Morrison stuff, of course. This is that cover with the infinite scrolling, the Batman symbol on his chest. So if you zoom into the Batman on the chest, he's got a tiny Batman. You zoom into that Batman, it just goes infinite, right? You guys get it. So the new Absolute is coming out, new hardcover, slipcase, all that good stuff. The Absolute Batman Incorporated from writer Grant Morrison. Tom King Omnibus for Batman, volume number 2 is coming out. People say what you will about this Batman run. Very cool to see it all collected here in the 2 Omnis. And eventually I'm going to need to pick this up. I have not read the Tom King Batman stuff, to be honest with you guys. So let me know down in the comments, what are your thoughts overall? I mean, is this something that, like as the dust has settled and we're so far away from when this series was coming out in singles, how do we feel about it? Are we picking up the omnibus just to have it on the shelf? Are we skipping it because it's not material we like? I'm not sure. My gut says that I want to have it just to have all the Batman modern omnis, but I'm not sure. I am going to be picking this one up, though. We have the Batwoman omnibus, J.H. Williams. We got Greg Rucka. This has the Batwoman elegy stuff. This has... yeah, man, this is like everything that I just read Batwoman Elegy, the compact. So I am, of course, picking up this omnibus. This is the 2026 reprinting of it and just having all this great material all in one omni. I'm so excited because the Batwoman series is coming out right now as part of DC Next Level, and I've been loving it, man. So yeah, this is an omnibus that I need at some point. The Batwoman omnibus, Greg Rucka, and all the great creators there. Yeah, so... yeah, it is Greg Rucka, I'm right. So yeah, that's going to be cool. And then we also have Birds of Prey by Gail Simone, Omnibus Volume 2. So I've not read Volume 1, I've not read any of this material, but I really love the Birds of Prey team. I like Kelly Thompson's run as that was coming out in singles. So at some point I want to go back and pick this up. Pick it up or read it on DC Universe Infinite, get a little taste of it before buying Omnibus Volumes number 1 and 2. But yeah, Birds of Prey really does seem like a team that has all the stuff that I'm looking for in like a DC series, and Gail Simone, apparently this run's really legendary, so I'm looking forward to that, man. We got Gotham City Year 1 Deluxe Edition. We don't hate Tom King on this channel, alright? So we love Tom King, a big fan of Tom King stuff. The Gotham City Year 1 story, I loved it. The year it came out, this was like a top 5 series. So Tom King, Phil Hester on the art, and it's just a really great, noir series, great mystery. Taking place at an early point in Gotham City's history. It's got like the Helen Wayne and sort of like the older, the previous generations of the Waynes. It's got the PI Slam Bradley. He's trying to get into the case. And yeah, I just loved it when this was coming out. I thought Phil Hester's art, it was my first time running into it. I just fell in love with his art style. It matched that noir vibe so well. And it's one of my favorite Tom King stories, honestly. So yeah, really looking forward to this. Deluxe edition, definitely got to upgrade from my singles. Commandy by Jack Kirby Omnibus. I don't know what the heck Commandy is. Is this a war story? No, it's not. It's like some dude. Some post-apocalyptic. It's kind of given Planet of the Apes, right? With the fallen Statue of Liberty in the ocean kind of vibe. So I don't know what Commandy is. But some people were excited about this when I did the stream with Near Mint Condition. People were hyped about Commandy, I guess. We have a Power Girl Omnibus coming out. This sounds like it collects all of the modern Power Girl stuff. So if you're looking for, like the Amanda Connor, no. I forgot what is the, considered the good Power Girl material. Like, what is the best writer to take over the Power Girl? Judd Winnick, maybe? Amanda Connor? I forget what's, the writer for Power Girl. But all of that material is apparently collected in here. And the way Omar makes it sound, he said, hey, I suggest you guys add some more Power Girl stuff because all this stuff has been out of print. All the different trades and stuff. So why not just throw it in? Have a complete Power Girl omnibus for all the Power Girl fans out there. And so that's what they're doing. That's a pretty cool thing to see. Pretty nice cover there too with the Adam Hughes, I believe, right? So must be with the AH, right? Superman, the Triangle Era Omnibus. So there's been some talk about all of these. It sounds like there's some double dipping if you have the Death and Return and the Superman Omnibus. So maybe if you have that, maybe skip out on this one. But people speak very highly about the Triangle era, all the different Superman titles that were ongoing at the time, all the different crossovers, and it seemed like it was like must-read comics at the time. So maybe at some point I might want to pick up these Omnis, but I think I'm more interested in if they eventually did a Superman Man of Steel omnibus. I think that's the John Byrne stuff. If they did that omnibus, and that's one I would get for sure. Maybe not the Triangle era. I don't know. I'm not like that big into that era of comics. I'm not sure. Swamp Thing Dark Genesis omnibus. This one's an interesting release. It's a 2-set thing, but it's like one thing you buy. There's 2 books in it, but it's all in one slipcase. So yeah, kind of interesting to see. And this is the it's recolored and stuff too. So I think that this is a pretty long awaited release from DC. I'm not too familiar with this material and stuff like that. The Swamp Thing character I just need to read more of, but people seem pretty hyped about this release from Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson. So yeah, pretty cool stuff there. We got the New Titans omnibus. I think that this was previously the New Titans volume number 5 or something like that. So it's getting like re-released or whatever. Like that never came out. That never got solicited. So they're switching it up, and DC is kind of redoing it. We have the Wonder Woman, the Golden Age omnibus as well coming out. Miss me with that. I'm not too. I do have the DC Finest, so I guess I can't speak too much trash on it. But Golden Age stuff, I'm not collecting that in omnibus form. All right, so let's jump to the trade paperbacks. We have all the different DCKO trades coming out. So we have All Fight. We have Justice League Unlimited. That's the Mr. Terrific little storyline that was going on in the DCKO event. It was a DCKO tie-in. We have the Superman DCKO tie-in as well as the DCKO Battle Royale. So this is going to have the boss fight. It's going to have the Green Lantern Galactic Slam. The kids are all fight. And this is the one that has Night Fight as well. So Batman Night Fight is collected in here. So yeah, they kind of split up all the different DCKO events and tie-ins into their own trade paperbacks. So if you're looking forward to that, if you didn't collect them in singles, that'll be coming shortly. We have some young adult stuff with some Bruce Wayne Not Super, as well as some Teen Titans Go on Strike. We have Batman Static Beyond. This is Batman Static Beyond number 1 through 6. This was a recent Elseworld series that was coming out. I didn't hear too many good things about it, I'll be honest with you. So I might be skipping into that one, not trade waiting that by any means. Aquaman Volume number 2. People say they love this Jeremy Adams, John Timms stuff. I stopped at issue 6, I think. I should have kept reading it, honestly, but there was too much DC stuff coming out. But really cool that Aquaman has been given so much room to kind of grow underneath the Jeremy Adams sort of wing, right? Batgirl number 3, The War of Shadows, Tate Bromble, Takashi Miyazawa. This is some cool stuff, but I feel like it wasn't as good as that first arc. That first arc is really the best stuff for this Batgirl title. But this will collect issues number 12 through 16. Catwoman number 3, volume 3, The Court of Fools. I love the cover on this one. I'm not reading the series, but you got some Court of Owls. You got Catwoman there. That's a really cool cover. Dead Man by Kelly Jones, complete collection is coming out. So if you're into the Dead Man series that's coming out shortly with the Iron Man creative team, not the Iron Man, Ice Cream Man. This is some more Dead Man stuff that DC's putting out to get you hyped up for that series. Same kind of thing here with the Firestorm the Nuclear Man release. This is the Nuclear Man from Legends of Tomorrow, issue number 1 through 6. So I think this is a new printing, getting people excited for the Firestorm series. We have Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, volume number 1. This is, I don't know what this release is, because they just released like a compendium for Kyle Rayner stuff too. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Same thing with this Deathstroke, The Professional. Christopher Priest stuff, right? But it's only 1 through 5, and it's like it's kind of a weird release in 2026. But same kind of thing, maybe just getting people ready for the Deathstroke series. We have getting ready for the Clayface movie, the DCU movie later this year. We have Batman Arkham Clayface. There's probably not a lot of Clayface material to pull from, so what do you choose to get people excited? There you go. Got Aquaman by Jeff Johns, book number 1. Another weird kind of release. I mean, it's got issues number 0 through 13. I don't know. What's the Aquaman series in total? It's like 20-something issues, right? I don't know. That could have been a compendium in my mind, but just like we got Compendium from Milestone, number 5. Really cool to see them continue this. I've really been enjoying some Milestone content when I read the Static Shock, the Static Deluxe Edition, or not Deluxe Edition, the DC Finest. That was some pretty cool stuff. Once we finish with the trades here, we'll jump into the comments, catch up. But we got Batman, The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween. Miss me with this, man. I don't really give a shit about that. Wonder Woman number 2. This is Wonder Woman Year 1. Greg Rucka stuff. Okay, so the DC Rebirth, getting another reprint. Interesting. All the even number issues from the DC Rebirth stuff. That's an interesting release in 2026. I don't know. Okay, right. So before we get into the DC Finest, let's jump into the comments real quick. All right. So let's back it up. Lord of the Rings Empire 69 says, wonder when they'll make a special edition for the whole Absolute Martian Manhunter series. That's a good question. Like a deluxe edition by, Absolute Martian Manhunter by Dennis Camp, Javier Rodriguez. Deluxe edition. I mean, that thing's going to be beautiful. You get that in oversized Absolute. I might buy that, bro. I don't collect Absolutes necessarily, but I would buy that for sure. We have Ghostweb saying, yeah, man, it's from Image. Just jump straight in. Don't know too much about the lore, but it's really fun, and the art is amazing. I love Tom Taylor's Detective Comics. Do you agree with me in that it might be better than the Nightwing stuff? I feel like that might be a hot take. I'm still working that take out, you know what I mean? So let me know how you guys feel about it. Southside Ronin says, not crazy at all. Detective Comics has been great for the past 2 years. Artwork is beautiful. There you go. So maybe it's better than Tom Taylor's Nightwing stuff. I don't know. Ghostwood Parker says, I'm trying to read more Green Lantern. What book should I pick up? Man, I gotta say, ever since the new Green Lantern series started up from, I think it was Jeremy Adams, right? So Jeremy Adams left the Flash title and then was on Aquaman and Green Lantern, I believe. So yeah, check out the Green Lantern series from Jeremy Adams. That's some really cool stuff. It's got really great artwork. You can also check out Green Lantern War Journal. That was a series that was coming out at the same time that focused on Jon Stewart. And that had some great stuff from Philip Kennedy Johnson with also some great artwork. So those are some 2 great series. I fell off of the main title Green Lantern at some point because they had like a bunch of events and they were spinning up the new Green Lantern series, Green Lantern Corp. So I didn't catch that, but it was good from what I read. So that would be my recommendation for some Green Lantern stuff, some modern stuff. Harthus says, I wonder when new compacts will be announced. I think there is some. So yeah, definitely stay tight. Hold on a sec because we'll get into some DC Finest, and I think DC compacts are right after that. Ghostwood Parker saying, I'm going to grab Far Sector. You got to grab Far Sector. I loved rereading the deluxe edition as part of my reading for, was it last month? I forget. But Far Sector was so good. That was a really fun reread. All right, jumping back to the DC solicits. For the DC Finest, we got Green Lantern, Hard Traveling Heroes, some Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams stuff. Man, if you're collecting the DC Finest on the Green Lantern side, they're pumping them out, man. I think this is like the 4th one. And so this is some really great material from what I've heard. And I honestly probably, I have the Omni. I kind of want to sell my Omni for this and get the Finest instead. Because the way that they're mapping it, I've heard is a lot better. And yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. But we also have a Justice League of America Crisis on Earth X DC Finest coming out. So that's some pretty cool stuff there. Hello? Oh, my wife knocked on my door. All right, we have another DC Finest coming out with the Suicide Squad, the Nightshade Odyssey as well. So I think this is like the 3rd Suicide Squad DC Finest. So yeah, man, some really fun DC Finest coming out that have been solicited in the June DC solicits. And then here we have some compacts. So we have some questions in the chat. Where are the new compacts at? We got the Dark Knights Metal compact coming out. So Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. Say what you will about this event. When I read it back in the day, I thought it was pretty fun. I don't remember too much about it. But we do have number 1 through 6 of Dark Knights Metal in this. I guess some people were saying that it's kind of weird there's none of that prequel stuff that kind of set up the events. So I don't know about that, but nice little DC compact, collecting some more of the DC events. It seems like they're kind of experimenting with that a little bit. We have Injustice Gods Among Us Year 1 in a compact. Man, say what you will about Injustice. I think it's some fun stuff from Tom Taylor. I know a lot of people have some issues with what happens in the story, but it's an Elseworlds, right? So I'm fine with some of the different, more creative takes on some of the characters and story beats, right? It's just an Elseworld story, and I think it's pretty fun for what it is. But yeah, those are the only compacts we have in this solicit. So only 2? That's interesting. They slowing down a little bit? I don't know. I don't know. But let's jump into the single issues real quick, because we have a lot of cool stuff like the Summer of Supergirl special. Sophie Campbell, Mark Waid, Gail Simone. Got a lot of backup stories, I'm sure, in here. So people getting ready for the Supergirl movie. You got some Lobo content in this as well. You got some great covers. And yeah, people are excited about this new Supergirl special. It's really cool that Sophie Campbell is kind of heading it up, because we also have the main title, Supergirl title from Sophie Campbell, hitting issue number 14. People excited about that. Check out this cover real quick. I want to show you this cover from... This is a Jim Lee cover, bro. It's a movie cover, but man, Jim Lee, when Jim Lee does that watercolor look, it's some cool stuff. I originally thought this was a Dustin Wynn work here. So yeah, Jim Lee just killing it. That might be a cover to pick up. I'm not picking up the Supergirl title, but that's a cool one. Mark Waid, Skylar Partridge are killing it on the Action Comics title. The Superboy era. Looks like this issue is going to focus on the crossover with Superboy, Mary Marvel, Martian Manhunter, and Booster Gold. So that's pretty fun team up there. Whoa, what just happened, bro? Dom, your site's broken. Nah, just kidding. All right, keeping it going. Superman number 39, Josh Williamson, Dan Mora. This is part of the reign of the Superboy stuff. We still have the fourth wall breaking Superboy Prime. I've been loving him as a character. Look at all the different eras of Superman, right? You got the Superman animated show. You got the Fleister stuff. That's a cool cover, man. The Superboy Prime breaking out. Superman Unlimited number 14. I fell off of this title, but the fact that it's got John Kent back in it, man, that's got me interested. Like young, de-aged John Kent. So that one might be something I got to check up on the app sooner rather than later to see what's going on with that. But that's pretty cool there. And then let's get into the most exciting stuff maybe from the solicits as far as the single issues go, because we have the new number 1s and featured series. We got the Dead Man number 1. This is the new DC Next Level title from the same creative team as Ice Cream Man. They just kill it. I mean, so wacky. They can do pretty much anything. So I'm fully expecting them to take this series into a bunch of crazy directions. So we have Dead Man, new ongoing in main continuity DC. That should be pretty cool. That's on my pull list for sure. We have a new Elseworlds title. Imagine if Supergirl and, Cal were like Lone Wolf and Cub, like Joel and Ellie kind of vibes, like out in space. And that's what this Elseworlds title is about. So I think this is fascinating, dude. I think this is really cool. It's got Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan. They had that series at Image called Kill Your Darlings. Still haven't read it myself, but I've heard nothing but good things. So I'd like to pick that up at some point. Just League Dream Girls, a DC Pride event. So for Pride this year, we have a 4-issue weekly event. The DC Pride event, Just League Dream Girls. This is from Jadzia Axelrod and Nicole Mayans. They're heading this one up. Real cool to see Dreamer and Galaxy kind of paired together. And we have a really cool set of connecting covers from Phil Jimenez, I believe. So yeah, man, some really cool stuff there. Weekly event, DC making it a thing this year, not just a one-off, one-shot. So that's cool to see. And then, of course, we'll get through this next section a little quickly. We got the continuation of Lobo with issue 4, Deathstroke the Terminator with issue 4, and Batwoman with issue 4. Out of the bunch, I think Batwoman is the strongest by far. And then at this point, we'll have Barbara Gordon break out of the series. We'll have issue number 2 coming out in June. Pretty cool covers on that one. The scenario sounds pretty fun. I don't know if it's going to be on my pull list necessarily. The Fury of the Firestorm, guys. I don't know if you guys heard, but apparently this series is only solicited for 8 issues. This is sad to me. I thought we were in for a long-running Jeff Lemire series, but it's only going to be 8 issues, so that's kind of sad. I thought about maybe dropping it potentially because it's only 8 issues. Maybe I can, catch that in a trade or something, right? So a little bit sad to hear that. Zatanna will be issue 3 at that point. Jamal Campbell just killing it. We got the Absolute Universe, so we got Absolute Batman number 21, of course. And then we got a resolicit of Absolute Catwoman. I think this got maybe delayed a little bit, by 2 weeks or something like that. But now it's coming out in June, possibly. So we got Che Grayson, Scott Snyder, and Bengal coming in to do a Selena Kyle story in the Absolute Universe. Absolute Green Arrow will be on issue 2. Really looking forward to that one. Absolute Wonder Woman will continue, of course, along with Absolute Superman, Green Lantern, and Absolute Flash. Talking about the Batman office real quick, we have Batman, Matt Fraction just killing it over there with Jorge Jimenez. That's been a real fun series. Poison Ivy is the mayor of Gotham City, so that's a real big sort of change up from the series, and that's kind of interesting, right? So, kind of interesting direction from G. Willow Wilson. Nightwing number 139, we'll still have Dennis Cohen on the title, so that's cool. Dan Waters just killing it. This series might be better than Tom Taylor's Nightwing. I gotta say it every time, every chance I get. Catwoman 88 will be going on. You got Harley Quinn. Detective Comics, we were just talking about that. It's so sad that I jumped off the title, especially when we got Black Canary and Green Arrow coming in, man. So sad that the Green Arrow series got canceled, but it's cool that Green Arrow is popping up other places. Batgirl coming out with Tate Bromble, of course. We got Wonder Woman, Justice League Unlimited, JSA, New Titans. I liked issue 1. We'll get into it when we talk about the reviews. Ryan North still on The Flash with Gavin Goudry, of course. Jeremy Adams, John Timms killing it on Emperor Aquaman. Just talking about this as well in the chat. Jeremy Adams on Green Lantern. It's going to hit issue 36 now. Man, that's been a long going series. Green Lantern Corps. We got World's Finest. DC Black Label stuff. Only one will be going on. At that point, it'll be the Bizarre Year None story. And I think that's pretty much it, man. Some Vertigo stuff. I've been loving all the Vertigo stuff, of course. Yeah, I think that's it because the rest of them are facsimiles. So yeah, let me know down in the chat, what's your most anticipated release from DC Comics in the month of June? Let's see, what am I most anticipating? I mean, that Catwoman series is going to be real fun. I think that the Summer of Supergirl has the potential to be fun as well. Let's see here. Fury of the Firestorm, that's sad, that's kind of disappointing. DC Next Level will be ongoing at that point. Yeah, I gotta say, maybe it's a little bit of a weaker month in terms of new releases. This Deadman series is coming out, though. I'm excited about that. Deadman's gonna be cool. Yeah, guys, I would say for single issues, it's kind of a lighter month as far as like new series that are coming out. And then the collected editions, not really excited about any of the compacts necessarily. The DC Finest, I might buy this one to swap out with my Omni. The trades don't really have me that interested. I would say other than what I've mentioned already, it'd probably be one of the deluxe editions, the Gotham City Year 1 stuff. Very, very much looking forward to that. Let's see. Yeah, Gotham City Year 1 Deluxe. And then, of course, you got the Batwoman Omnibus. So those two, Batwoman Omnibus and the Gotham City Year 1, those are my most anticipated by far as collected editions. So yeah, let me know down in the comments, what are you looking forward to from DC Comics in the June 2026 solicits? And while you're down there, of course, let me know, what you are most excited for in terms of like DC Next Level. Because I feel like my hype level has gone down just a little bit because I didn't really like the Deathstroke series that much. Lobo was all right. So yeah, let me know how you guys are feeling about DC Next Level. That's kind of my next question. But yeah, that's been the solicits for DC Comics June 2026. I'll catch you guys in the next solicit video. Alrighty, so yeah, that'll be the second topic for today's New Comic Weekly. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. We got 19 people hanging out in the chat. Let's move up on, let's catch up on some questions. I wonder, the compacts, Trottleluti says, hey. Harthus says, oh, cool. Lord of the Rings Empire says, probably going to be the only person here interested in this. But Tate did an interview for New Titans, and he said he had rivalry for romance. Interesting. Who do you think John Kent's new love interest would be? Interesting. So someone on the team is going to have a love interest with John Kent? That's interesting. How does Red Devil swing? Is he going to be, could John Kent and Red Devil be hooking up? That could be cool. I don't know. Ghostwood Parker says they're dropping a new compact box set sometime around August, September, I believe. I think I'll wait and get that. That's got some good releases in it in the box set. That's pretty cool. Chris Gonzalez says you check out the new Saga issues. So I think that Saga's been on a little bit of a hiatus. I'm honestly have not picked it up since I've been picking up in singles, but I haven't read it since issue 52 or whatever. Like I've been planning a reread for the compendium, and then I got rid of my compendium. I gave it away, so I gotta reread that before I can pick up the singles and start reading it. But yeah, that's a 2 was surprised Jim Lee did it. Oh, okay, that's probably in reference to the Jim Lee Supergirl variant cover. Ghost of Parker says, I'm so excited for Dead Man. Definitely getting this Ice Cream Man was amazing. Love Ice Cream Man. So yeah, really looking forward to the Dead Man stuff. Is Dead Man ongoing? I saw a 1 out of 6. Is that real? Let me check that. Borderland asking if Dead Man is an ongoing. Let's find the answer really quick. Dead Man. It doesn't say 1 through 6 on the solicit. So who knows, I guess. I mean, maybe on the, maybe like in the DC Connect it says 1 through 6. I'm not sure, but on the site, it doesn't say, like the site that we were using for this info, it doesn't say 1 through 6, so I'm not sure. I'd be surprised if it was just 1 through 6. That would kind of stink. Ghost of Parker says they're most excited for Absolute Green Arrow. I'm looking forward to that as well. It's going to be so sick. Absolute Green Arrow hands down. Wow, a lot of hype for Absolute Green Arrow. What didn't you like about Deathstroke? I thought it was awesome. We'll get into it when I get into the reviews. I just think I'm not a Deathstroke fan. So I think that it's probably like for the Deathstroke fans out there. But I don't know if it's making new Deathstroke fans, if that makes sense. LD Wheeling says, finally caught alive. Yo, what's up, LD? Cool to see you here. All right, so last topic for today. And we've been going long. This has been 51 minutes live, all right? So usually I go for an hour. But we'll get through these comic book reviews pretty quickly, all right? So this is the comic book reviews for the week, starting off with what I like the most, and then we'll get into it, guys. Give you guys a little taste of what we're covering here. This is a stack that's ranked from what I like the most to what I liked the least, all right? So what did I like the least all the way down there? Let's get a little sneak peek. Oh, is that Wonder Woman down there? Oh, too bad, all right? So let's start off with some DC Next Level. Let's start up with the Batwoman series, all right? So Greg Rucka, back on the Batwoman character. I loved it. I thought this issue 1 was great. Set up the mystery a little bit. I think that this is a different person in the Batwoman costume at the end here. I think this is the sister, all right? So let me know what you guys think about that. But we get, Kate Kane is being interviewed a little bit, or she's in a therapy session. She's in a sanatorium. We get a little throwback on the last time Kate and her sister had a confrontation, and you just get introduced to this excellent artwork from Denis. Such a great style. I think it matches the Batwoman vibes, and I'm just all in on this Batwoman title. So yeah, really great stuff from DC Next Level. Greg Rucka feels like coming home, dude, all right, with this Batwoman character, and I think they set up a pretty interesting mystery if that's indeed not Kate Kane in the costume. Like, if that's where the series is trending, I think we're in for a pretty interesting ride here. So Batwoman number 1 was the thing I liked the most from last week's New Comic Book Day. Second up, we got the Ultimates, man. So this is Ultimates number 22. I've long said this is my favorite Ultimates title in the Ultimate Universe. I think Dennis Camp, the way I would put it, right? As a total series, I don't know if the Ultimates is like, wow, that's an excellent story all the way throughout, like all 22 issues. But you get these issues that are just so good in, like, on their own. Like, if you just take them and just pull them out of the Ultimate series, like, it's just really great stuff. So in this one, we get a behind-the-scenes look at this relationship between Steve Rogers and Bucky back in the day. They were growing up in the orphanage together, right? Like, they were hanging out all the time. Like, all these glimpses of this past, this two's relationship, and just seeing, like, I don't know, just all the different, without using words too. That's also something really impressive from Dennis Camp. It's just like these little moments, these little glimpses in these two lives as they're growing up. You see that they were like shipped off to war, but Steve Rogers was too too frail and skinny. He's not able to go off and join Bucky in the war. At the same time, in the modern day, because it's obvious that Steve Rogers is thinking about all these moments as he's trying to have this assault on the Red Skull sort of fortress, right? So they're holed up. They're using babies. The Red Skull people are using babies like on their chest as sort of like a deterrent. Like, hey, you can't shoot me because you're gonna kill this baby on my chest. So they're pretty evil, man, right? So you got the Red Skull, bunch of fascists just hanging out. They're teaming up with the Maker, of course. And so Hawkeye, Captain America, and the rest of the Ultimates have to go in and get the Red Skull, get him out of there, man, right? So, but again, we get these great moments between Bucky and Steve Rogers. Just a lot of emotion packed in this issue. And just this way to see it all conclude, man. So we have the confrontation between Bucky and Steve. It turns out, yeah, that's Bucky. And they get into this sort of philosophical discussion of like, Steve is like, how could you be evil? How could you be the Red Skull? It makes no sense. You were like fighting with me against fascists and stuff. And he's like, listen, I tried running for Congress, like nothing worked. And I just felt like there was nothing I could do. And you might as well just join the system, right? So kind of a heartbreaking issue all throughout. Just this final story between the Red Skull and Captain America and just seeing how it all plays out. Some pretty sad stuff, man. So that's got to be my second favorite issue of the week. Let's keep it going, though, with Absolute Flash, dude. This is a new story arc starting here. And we know that Absolute Flash has been on the run. Wally West, after the events of last issue, he possibly lost his dad in the Still Force. So his dad's lost in there. Wally has no way to get him back out. Wally's also split up from Gorilla Grodd. They've had this really cool relationship all throughout the series so far, but they're kind of split up. And so Wally's on his own again. He makes his way back to this home, the Dibney Youth Mission, as sort of like a place for runaway kids to just chill and have a safe place to eat and sleep, right? And so he's getting more friendly with Linda. So this issue was all about that relationship kind of starting up. And maybe that was something that I was missing in the first arc, like the first two arcs, is just this like personal relationship with Wally and someone else. Because Wally's just someone who's been so alone all throughout this series so far. And so him having this friend and this someone to sort of relate to and sort of, I don't know, like you can just see Wally like coming out of his shell a little bit, man. So I really love this issue and just sort of this relationship just starting up. And get some really great moments as Linda and Wally are breaking back into the base. They're trying to investigate some stuff. There's some pieces that Wally West still need to, some answers he needs to, some questions he needs answered, I guess is the way I would put it. But they run into the Mirror Master of the Absolute Mirror Master, gets them trapped up in the mirror dimension, and that's where the issue ends, man. So I would say this is a great jumping on point. If you wanted to read Absolute Flash, I think that Jeff Lemire is cooking, man. It took him a little bit to kind of find his voice, but he is writing some really great Wally West stuff. I just feel so bad for this Wally West, man. So, yeah, maybe I relate to him, like, a lot, right? So maybe that's why I like the series so much, but Absolute Flash number 13, the third best thing I read all week. Captain America number 8 is next up, right? So, this is some great stuff. We got Captain America going back into Latveria to sort of free the people after the events of One World Under Doom. All the different factions in Latveria are kind of racing to find Doctor Doom's like magic weapon that can help them kind of rule the world or whatever. And so Captain America is joining that race. He's got to get that weapon before any of the bad guys get it. And so it's sort of this idea of like which faction, which side of the conflict should Captain America help? Like it's a regime change war, which if you open the blinds and you look outside and you turn on the news, we're doing that in Iran, right? So very crazy what Chip Zdarsky is pulling in from the real world to kind of, mess around with in our brains, right? These ideas Chip Zdarsky's got us thinking about in this Captain America series. And yeah, man, I just find the whole thing very fascinating, just like the role of the U.S. and like which side should we help in order to help this country, right? And we see Captain America, he uncovers, he gets thrown into like this body, like this pit, like this mass grave, and Captain America goes berserk, dude. And he just goes ham and all the bad guys there, and he makes his decision. He's like, hey, I'm not gonna help those guys who did the mass grave. That is not the way you help free this country. So he's like, yo, I'm going with him, Nick. I'm going after him, Nick, with or without you. And God help me if you stand in my way, right? So this version of Steve Rogers, I think Chip Zdarsky is just nailing it. The voice is definitely there. And even though this artist is a third different artist, I think, that we've had in the series so far, I think it's still really strong. I think it still matched the sort of vibe. And yeah, dude, this Captain America series keeps on surprising me. So that's got to be the fourth best thing that I read all week. Let's jump in the chat. There's no chat. That's all right. Keeping it going. Talking about Lobo. All right, some more DC Next Level stuff. I thought the Lobo series really surprised me, actually. So we got Lobo. He's trying to complete this bounty. Okay, so he rolls up to the bar, and it turns out that the bounty got canceled. He's like, hey, that pisses me off, right? So I'm going to go after the person who canceled the bounty. He gets to the, and all throughout, right, we get like an origin story of Lobo for those like me who don't know too much about the Lobo character. It's very talky, very word heavy, all right? I will say that, very word heavy from Scotty Young, but the artwork from Jorge Corona was the thing that really tied it together and kind of pushed this over the edge for me. The people that canceled the bounty, they're like this multi-planetary media company, and they have a bunch of TV shows, and essentially their idea is to make a TV show out of Lobo, right? So like a reality show of Lobo going around killing people, and so that's kind of the scenario we got set up here. The show is going to be called The Main Man or whatever, and so Lobo has got a new direction in life. He's going to be a TV star. So that's an interesting concept. I'm not immediately like, oh, this is one you got to put on your pull list, right? It's more for like the Lobo fans, I really feel. But the artwork from Jorge Corona, it was doing something for me, man. So that's some cool stuff there. A pretty nice read for the week. Let's talk about G.I. Joe real quick. So we got G.I. Joe number 20. This is the meetup between Duke and Optimus Prime. You guys see it on the cover there. So we got... but we also get an introduction to the Mask people, right? So we know that the Mask series is starting up in a little bit with Dan Waters writing that one. So we get this sort of cool chase scene. I mean, it's like really action-packed, pretty cool stuff there. And then in the middle of the chase scene, we get the Joes getting reintroduced into the story. They're trying to recruit this guy, the Mask guy, but he's like, hey, I got my own team. We're called Mask or whatever. So excited about that series. I swapped that Transformers for the Mask series, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, we have... yeah, this here, the moment that we've all been waiting for the whole Energon universe. We got Optimus Prime, who's no longer Prime, by the way, if you caught that in Transformers number 30, number 31, I forget. But yeah, so we got this pretty interesting conversation. I guess I will say I wish they pushed it a little more, because this is like supposed to be an epic moment. It's Duke and it's Optimus Prime, right? So you'd want them to have maybe more of a moment. But yeah, it kind of ends in a little bit, but they put a little a stalemate, right? They're putting a little bit of a hold on their battle. They're like, hey, let's work together. We have a common enemy here, so let's put our differences aside and try to work together. And so yeah, all in all, it's kind of like a little fill-in issue. I did think that this moment was pretty good, but I do wish they kind of pushed it just a little more. So that's Josh Williamson. I do think the art from Andrea Milani was cool. If they ever want Andrea Milani to come back, Tom Riley's busy, right? This is a great fill-in artist to do some fill-in issues for sure. The bit at the end there where they talk about Scarlet as well. I like the Scarlet miniseries. I've been waiting for Scarlet to get reintroduced into the G.I. Joe Energon universe. So yeah, what's going on with that? Hopefully they pick that up in the next issue. Or maybe that's a plot point for Mask, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, these next things, all right, so let me just speak very briefly on the stack, all right? So once you hit this point on the stack, kind of take a slide in quality just a little bit, all right? So we'll talk about it. We'll get into it. The Nightwing series, all right? So this is the new arc starting up. Dan Waters still writing it, but we have Dennis Cohen coming into the art. And that might have been my issue with, my problem with this issue, maybe. I don't know if I was sold on the art immediately. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the inking. I think it was honestly the inking on top of Dennis Cohen's pencils that I wasn't a fan of. I don't know. This issue's not like, it didn't really do it for me. The mystery is, right, is that this highway in Bloodhaven is like haunted. So it's like this haunted highway that Dan Waters has got us sort of the interesting story beat here. And yeah, the artwork from Dennis Cohen, I was like, it's not my favorite. Some moments are cool. Maybe I need to see like what are like the action scenes, right? Because this is more of the talkie, like they're in a car, so you're going back and forth between who's talking in the car. Maybe it wasn't as dynamic as I was looking for in a Nightwing title, at least for this first issue. And so Nightwing tries to help this girl, but he ends up causing like a massive pileup. This is cool here. I will say, like, as far as the art, this was kind of working for me. Maybe just like a difference in the coloring. I don't know, dude. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. I have very complex feelings about how I feel. I was waiting for this issue to like blow my socks off, right? I was coming into this issue like, man, this is going to be a new era for Nightwing. Kind of let me down a little bit. So that's how I would put it. So yeah, did Nightwing cause this massive pileup? Is it his fault? Or was it the haunted girl that he tried to give that was hitchhiking and he tried to give a ride, but she wasn't actually there? She's like a ghost haunting the highway. Interesting story from Dan Waters. I don't know where that one's going. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments. Am I crazy? Or did that issue disappoint you just a little bit? Let's talk about the new Titans, all right? So this is that new stuff from Tate Bromble and Sammy Basri. I thought the issue was pretty solid. I guess for me, it didn't like do a whole ton, right? So the whole scenario here in this issue is all about Nightwing kind of stuck in this Groundhog Day repeating scenario where it's just kind of a play on all the different past scenarios that the Teen Titans go on, right? Like all the different classic tropes, like all the villain, they burst into the Teen Titans tower, or all the different like relationship stuff and all the different like lovey-dovey stuff that the Teen Titans series is known for, or Trigon is returned and Raven's evil, or Tara's back and she's betraying everybody. So kind of making fun and poking fun at all the different tropes in the past Teen Titans series. So that's kind of an interesting like statement that Tate Bromble's making, right? Like he's kind of coming in and saying like, hey, I understand all that Teen Titans stuff, man. So maybe is Tate Bromble trying to say like, if you expect that stuff, maybe don't expect it in this series, or it's kind of like a wink and a nod. And so he's saying like, don't worry, you'll be getting some of that stuff in this series. So I'm not sure how to read it exactly, but you do get, man, if you're into Nightwing and Starfire, the shippers rise up. But Nightwing eventually is broken out of this Groundhog Day scenario. It gets a little wacky, but then at the very end, they burst onto the scene. The new Titans are there to pull the Teen Titans out of this repeating Groundhog Day nightmare scenario. So yeah, we got the new team coming in. We got Spoiler. We got Red Devil. We got John Kent. And we got, not Nubia. What's her name, bro? What's this girl's name, dude? I'm such an idiot, bro. Obviously, Wonder Woman, Wonder Girl, or whatever, but what's her name, man? What's her name? Let me know in the comments. But anyway, so that's the new Titans. I thought it was a pretty solid issue. The art from Sammy Basri I thought was cool. But like the scenario, I was just like, all right, let's keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Like a little bit dragged in some places maybe. Poking fun at the whole Teen Titans lore, I think, right? From Tate Bromble. So nothing crazy in this first issue. Kind of an interesting setup for the rest of the series. Or at least for the first arc. Let's talk about Geiger really quick. This is my favorite issue of Geiger in a while. This whole Northerner arc, I'm not the biggest fan of, but I think what I realized in the other issues that I was missing from this Northerner arc, I need to see Geiger do something surprising. Like I need to see some moments of character growth that I think Jeff Johns is really good at kind of drip feeding or like breadcrumbing us too, right? So Geiger in this one, the best example of it is he starts reading books to these kids, right? So there's this orphan kids, they're called like the St. Louis Strays. They're a team that's been put together by Ashley Arden a couple issues ago. She freed them, all these kids, from a bunch of traffickers, like evil traffickers, right? And taught the kids how to shoot and how to free themselves and protect themselves, right? So Geiger and the Northerner come across these people, and they just get to know the kids and stuff like that. Kind of a little side story of an issue, but I do think that it had moments that were like this, right? So Geiger, he walks to the bookstore. There's this girl coming out at the books, and he's like, oh, you like to read or whatever? And she's like, why would I read, bro? So it makes Geiger's like, okay, cool. So I got to teach these kids the joy of reading. So you get this great kind of splash page moment here as Geiger is reading Jack and the Beanstalk to these kids. And so yeah, moments like that is what I was missing in the last couple issues. Just like Geiger surprising me, or having like these moments of like emotions or softness that is very different from the hardened, wasteland survivor Geiger that we normally get. And the very end here, I don't know where we're going with this arc, man, because at the very end here, you get Geiger sent to like an alternate timeline possibly with his kids. So I'm like, what is going on, man? And it's just like, where's Nate the Nuclear Knight, bro? Like, where's Zigzag? And, like, what's going on with that whole story? I feel like I'm just not a fan of where this arc is going, but it's still Geiger. He's still my guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still like Geiger as a character. So, yeah. Oh, yes, Yara Floor in the chat. Thank you, guys. Yara Floor, dude. Jesus Christ. We need like, I don't know. I just read I just read a thing about Yara Floor, like, the other day, so that name was, like, on the tip of my tongue. But anyways, thanks for helping me in the chat. All right, let's talk about Ultimate Wolverine. This was probably the best issue in a while. I still think that, like, I don't know, man. So, like, we've got this full transformation of Logan from the Wolverine into the Winter Soldier, right? Because he was captured by a Rasputin and all the evil members of the Maker's Council. And then the whole series has been Logan's journey from the Winter Soldier back to being himself. But I feel like we reset the whole thing at the end of this issue because he gets, like, infected by this evil stuff and he's going feral again. It's like, dude, we just spent like 14 issues getting him from unferal back to being a normal person, and now we're all the way back over there. And the whole goal is that Ultimate Wolverine and Jean Grey are trying to find magic because she's in limbo. So, okay, in that way, I guess I'm okay with it because at the very end here, they find an interesting way to cure him of his feralness or whatever. And he says, hey, I know where she is. She's in a place called Limbo. So I'm hoping that, like, just close the loop on this Logan story, okay? Like, let's end this series. It kind of goes into how I feel about the rest of the Ultimate Universe. Like, just end it, all right? Just end it, all right? Just end the story for the love of God, man. But really cool art from Capuccio. That was cool. All right, 2 more issues to talk about, and we got some questions about it in the chat. People wondering, actually there's 3 issues, but we'll get through them quickly, all right? So, Deathstroke the Terminator #1. My thoughts on this one. I really feel like it was the weakest out of the DC Next Level first 3 initial titles. I think Batwoman was the strongest. I think Lobo was next up because of how much it surprised me. But the Deathstroke series kind of disappointed me a little bit, right? So I go into it. I know Deathstroke as a character isn't my favorite necessarily. I love John Domenico's artwork. I'm a big fan of Tony Fleecs. I don't know, man. This one just seemed like it's for the Deathstroke fans. And if you weren't already a Deathstroke fan, I don't know if this one wins you over and makes you a Deathstroke fan. Does that make sense? So I think for me, right, it's got this cool, bombastic moments of action. Deathstroke's on this mission. He's trying to go in and, take care of a target or whatever, right? So the whole thing, he goes through the mission. He gets to the room where the person is being held captive. He also fights the body doubles. Pretty cool moment here, right? So, like, as I'm flipping through, if you're into the action, like, if you're here for, like, the Deathstroke action, you are getting that in spades. Like, that, don't get me wrong, that wasn't a problem with this issue. I just think, like, once you get past the action, right, the scenario that they're setting up is just, okay, someone got to Deathstroke's best buddy of all time and, like, kills him or whatever, and then drains Deathstroke of all his money. So it's like, I don't know, it's not like the most interesting scenario. Like, okay, Deathstroke's, he's like poor now or something like that, and he's going after revenge. So here's what I would say. I'm just yapping a lot, but that's how it goes on New Comic Weekly. You guys know what you're getting into. But listen, the Deathstroke's buddy, I just don't know who this guy is, right? So if I had read, maybe this is a Christopher Priest shout out, and if you read that series, you know this guy, and you're like, oh crap, he's dead? That's crazy. That sucks. But for someone like me who hasn't read that, I don't know who the hell this guy is. So this didn't hit me at all when this guy's dead. Deathstroke running out of money. Like, did he need money? He's got a bunch of guns and stuff, right? Like, I feel like he's resourceful. So I don't know. I'm not, like, in it for the scenario. And I feel like with the artwork, it was cool in some places. But yeah, I don't know. It needs, like, another layer of, like, doing something for me. And it's just not doing that. So I think that this is a series I will be dropping for sure. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about Deathstroke. I'm definitely probably in the minority. I'm sure a lot of the Deathstroke fans love this one. So yeah, let me know. 2 more things to talk about before I get out of here. We're over. We're like an hour and 14. All right. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for sticking around. If you watched up to this point, we'll talk about End of Life real quick. Issue number 2. another step down, dude. I didn't think that this series would take a step down from issue 1, but maybe it took a step down. I'm just not a fan of this Eddie Stallion character. I think he's an asshole. There was, again, not a lot of redeeming qualities or redeeming moments from this. And honestly, dude, and listen, I would hate if Kyle Starks, if you're watching this video, man. I'm a big fan, right? I love all your stuff. I Hate This Place was like my favorite series that you did. I just feel like this one isn't that funny either. So if I'm reading a Kyle Starks book and it's like not even that funny, and also the main character I'm not that into, the scenario is pretty interesting, right? Because we have he's being chased after this like assassin group, right? He works for them, but they're going after him because he accidentally tried to, take out one of the big wigs in the organization. So he's taken, he's trying to hide out with his dad in like a small town, right? That's like an interesting situation, I guess. It's got some action, some shooty, pow moments. He's obviously very capable as an assassin, right? I don't know, man. This one's just not doing too much for me. And at the very end, there's this chicken guy who's coming into town. He's probably going to try to kill Eddie Stallion. All right, man. I don't know. This series is not my favorite. This End of Life series, not my favorite. So, yeah. DC Vertigo. Maybe the first drop out of all the DC Vertigos. And then last but not least, let's get into the last comic book review for today. We got the Wonder Woman, issue number 31. The new arc starts here, the Wonder War. But as you guys heard, I mean, this is my least favorite of the week, right? And I think that it really dealt with... I just hate Tom King's narration. Like, I'm just over the narration style in this Wonder Woman series. For the love of God. I get the whole point is that it's the world... Like, it's a projection of how the world views Wonder Woman, right? So we're getting everyone else's thoughts besides Wonder Woman, right? But I kind of just want, like, a Wonder Woman series. I feel like this is everything, like, almost but a Wonder Woman series in some ways. The Mouseman arc was cool. I think that was, like, the most to the core of Wonder Woman's character that we've seen so far. Essentially, right, this is a thing that's happening in the future. We have the new Trinity, so this is John Kent, Damian, and Trinity, Liz or whatever, going up against the Matriarch. So she has apparently taken out, like, all the Justice League. So it's the Trinity's last-ditch plan to try to take her out. And the plan does not go well. And I think that John Kent and Damian, like, die, right? So what's going on with that? So Liz drives back home. And it turns out that Wonder Woman, it was a plan all along for John Kent and Damian to die. So I'm just like, where are we going with the story? I just think it's like the weakest month-to-month DC read that I have on my pull list right now. It's just like, man, dude, this is something that would better be read in a trade just so you can get to where Tom King's going when you flip the page. You don't have to wait a full month because Jesus Christ, dude. And I hate the way the narrator, I know I said that already, but like, who's talking? Who is talking, bro? I'm going to crash out. Like, who is this, bro? It's a different color, and then we have a different color. It's like, who are these two people talking, bro? How are you going to have them narrate? I don't know who they are. I hate this narration style. I'm just over it. Jesus Christ, dude. Anyways, that's all we're doing, okay? That's it. Before I crash out any longer. It's also really hot in here, dude. I'm wearing like a wool quarter zip. Anyways, that's New Comic Book Weekly. Anyways, that's the weekly comic book reviews. Hopefully you guys enjoyed everything that I read last week, rated from what I liked to what I least liked the most. Alright, so a lot of cool stuff. We got the DC Next Level, we got some DC Vertigo, we got some Marvel, we got some DC Absolutes, and we got some indie series as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed new comic book reviews every single week. Let me know in the comments if you liked any of these in particular, if I'm off base with any of my reviews, any of my thoughts. Let me know down below, and while you're down the like if you like, sub if you love, and if you really like, you can hype it. Comic book reviews every single week. Alrighty, so that's been New Comic Weekly. We got Paul Dev saying, weekly Kody crash out. You know it, Paul. I'm always crashing out. I can't help it. Alrighty, so let's catch up with some comments. Lord of the Rings Empire. Can't overstate how stupid Dick was in the issue of Nightwing. Yeah, let's pick up the mentally unstable woman in a trapped environment. That wasn't my issue with it. I think that Nightwing's just being Nightwing trying to help the girl out or whatever, but it was obvious that's a dangerous situation. I don't know if Nightwing's the smartest for putting himself in that situation, to your point. Excited for New Titans, but I thought the first issue was boring. You can really skip it and miss nothing. I would kind of agree with that. I would say that the significance of the first issue of Tate Bromwell's New Titans was to set the tone most, right? Like, not necessarily like the story is the most interesting thing ever, but it's kind of set the tone as like a, hey, I'm Tate Bromwell, I've read Titan stuff, and this is what to kind of expect in the issue, in the series. It's going to be your kind of fun, you know, bumping elbows, your teen kind of book. I feel like that's kind of the vibe that they're going for. But I agree, you could probably skip it, honestly. We got people shouting out Yara Floor. That's right, forgot the name of that. Biggest Barda, love your username, of course. Thanks for joining, Biggest Barda. I find his changing narrations fun puzzles to crack. There's always a twist on who is talking and how. That's a fair point, Biggest Barda. That's a fair point. It's just like, as a month-to-month read, it's like I just want these answers, bro. It's very interesting how other writers are able to pace out their month-to-month like story threads and story beats, and like they don't frustrate me. Like I feel like in the Wonder Woman series, sometimes I'll just read it and I'm just like, bro, I have to wait a month to find out what. I was like, I'm not like anticipating the next issue versus something like the Batman by Matt Fraction. Every issue might only progress the story like a very minuscule amount, but you're still doing stuff in between the pages that like keep me more engaged, or so I don't crash out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna crash out on this Wonder Woman title every month. Riley2317 saying hello. I think that's a good time for me to end the stream, guys. So yeah, New Comic Weekly every single Monday at 4 p.m. You can join. And just like everybody here in the chat, we got Paul Deb, Biggest Barda, Wednesday Spoiler, Lord of the Rings Empire 69. We got LD Wheeling, Rafael Hernandez, Ghost Web Parker, sorry for messing up your name, Borderland, as well as Chris Gonzalez. We got a lot of people in the live, right? So you can be just like them, joining me every Monday live at 4 p.m. We go over the weekly pull list, the weekly comic book reviews, and the big topic. This week's big topic was the solicitations from DC Comics. Everything they have coming out for June of 2026. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And yeah, if you liked this New Comic Book Weekly episode, let me know by liking it down below. And while you're down there, comment what was your favorite thing that I talked about in this episode. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one for New Comic Weekly every Monday at 4 p.m. Thank you guys for watching, and read more comics, dude.